7 pistols. 7 backup weapons carried by soldiers, spies, and assassins when the primary rifle wasn't an option. From America's legendary sidearm to a silent, purpose-built assassination tool, we're breaking down what games get right, and what they get completely wrong, about real handguns. Let's start with the most iconic one of all. 7 pistols. 7 backup weapons that soldiers, agents, and snipers carried when their primary rifle wasn't an option. From a hidden assassination tool to the most iconic sidearm in American history, today we're breaking down what games get right, and what they get completely wrong, about real handguns. The Colt M1911 was designed by John Browning and adopted by the United States Armed Forces in 1911. It became the standard issue sidearm for American forces through both world wars, with nearly 2 million units produced during World War II alone. Few handguns in history have stayed in frontline service for as long as this one. This pistol fires the .45 ACP cartridge, a big, heavy round designed specifically to stop a target with a single hit. Unlike smaller, faster rounds, the .45 trades speed for raw stopping power, which is exactly why the US military chose it after lessons learned in earlier conflicts, where smaller calibers failed to reliably drop a target. The M1911 measures around 21 centimeters long and weighs just over 1 kilogram unloaded, small and light enough to carry as a backup weapon at all times, unlike the heavy rifles we've covered before. In games, pistols are often treated as a weak, last resort option. In reality, in close quarters combat, a well-placed .45 round from this pistol was more than capable of ending a fight instantly. This is a semi-automatic pistol, using the recoil from each shot to eject the spent casing and load the next round automatically. Pull the trigger, and it's ready to fire again immediately. No manual cycling required, unlike the bolt-action rifles in our last video. It feeds from a detachable box magazine holding 7 rounds, small by modern standards, but standard for a single-stack .45 caliber pistol of this era. Swapping magazines takes seconds, letting a soldier reload quickly under pressure. Effective range sits around 50 meters, far shorter than any rifle, because pistols were never designed for long-range engagement. They were built for one purpose, a reliable, powerful weapon within arm's reach when everything else failed. The M1911's design was so effective that variations of it are still manufactured and carried today, over a century after its original adoption, an almost unheard-of lifespan for any firearm. It remains one of the most recognizable pistol shapes in the world, copied and reproduced by manufacturers across the globe. The Colt M1911 wasn't just America's sidearm, it was proof that sometimes the simplest design, done right, never goes out of style. The Walter PPK was developed in Germany in 1931 as a compact version of the earlier PP model, designed specifically for concealed carry by police and plainclothes agents. Its small size and flat profile made it easy to hide under clothing, and it became famous decades later as the fictional weapon of choice for James Bond. This pistol fires the .38 ACP cartridge, a smaller, lighter round than the Colt's .45 or the Luger's 9mm. It sacrifices stopping power for a slimmer pistol frame and lighter recoil, prioritizing concealment and quick handling over raw force. The PPK measures just over 15 centimeters long and weighs around 590 grams unloaded, dramatically smaller than every pistol we've covered so far. In games, this size difference rarely matters. In reality, its small grip and light weight made it far easier to hide, but also harder to control accurately during rapid fire. Like the Luger, it's a semi-automatic pistol, but with a much simpler blowback action instead of the toggle lock mechanism, a design choice that made it cheaper and more reliable to manufacture, ideal for widespread issue to police forces across Germany. It feeds from a detachable box magazine holding 7 rounds. The compact size meant a shorter grip, which made the pistol harder to hold securely for shooters with larger hands, a trade-off for its concealable dimensions. Effective range sits around 25 meters, noticeably shorter than the full-size service pistols, reflecting its role as a close-range, concealed weapon rather than a primary sidearm meant for extended engagement. The PPK's real-world legacy was cemented not on the battlefield, but in fiction. Its compact design and elegant lines made it the perfect prop for the world's most famous fictional spy, cementing its reputation far beyond its original police and military role. The Luger P08 was designed by Georg Luger and adopted by the German military in 1908. Its distinctive toggle lock action and sharply angled grip made it one of the most recognizable pistol silhouettes ever created, and it served as the standard German sidearm through World War I and into World War II. This pistol fires the 9x19 mm Parabellum cartridge, a round that was actually developed specifically for the Luger itself, and went on to become one of the most widely used pistol cartridges in the world, still standard in countless firearms today. The Luger measures around 22 centimeters long and weighs close to 900 grams unloaded, lighter than the Colt M1911, with a grip angle that many shooters find naturally points toward the target. In games, this pistol is often shown as fragile or unreliable. In reality, it was prized for its accuracy, even if its toggle lock mechanism was sensitive to dirt and mud in field conditions. Unlike the Colt's simpler slide action, the Luger cycles using a toggle lock system to jointed arms that fold upward like a knee bending, ejecting the spent casing and loading the next round. It's a more mechanically complex design, which made it more expensive to manufacture, but also gave it a smoother, more precise trigger pull than many of its contemporaries. It feeds from a detachable box magazine holding 8 rounds, loaded from the base of the grip. The magazine release is a button behind the trigger guard rather than at the base of the grip like the Colt, a small but distinct handling difference trained soldiers had to adapt to. Effective range sits around 50 meters, similar to other service pistols of its era. The Luger's reputation for accuracy meant it was often carried by officers as both a functional weapon and a status symbol, prized enough that Allied soldiers frequently took them home as war trophies. The Luger P08 became one of the most collected and recognized firearms in history. Its shape alone is instantly identifiable even to people who've never held one, a rare achievement for any pistol design. The Mauser C96 was developed in Germany in 1896, making it one of the oldest self-loading pistols ever mass-produced. Its distinctive box-shaped magazine ahead of the trigger and long barrel gave it an unmistakable silhouette, earning it nicknames like the broom handle for its unusually shaped wooden grip. This pistol fires the 7.63 by 25 mm Mauser cartridge, a fast, powerful round for its time that gave the C96 impressive range and penetration compared to most handguns of the late 19th century, some of the earliest self-loading pistol ammunition ever adopted for military use. The C96 measures around 30 centimeters long and weighs over 1 kilogram unloaded, significantly larger and heavier than every other pistol in this lineup, closer in size to a small carbine than a typical sidearm. Its size made it awkward for quick-draw use, but gave it stability and range that smaller pistols couldn't match. Unlike the pistols we've covered so far, the C96's magazine is fixed to the frame in most versions, loaded from the top using a stripper clip rather than swapped out as a detachable unit. This made reloading slower under pressure, a significant trade-off for its otherwise advanced design. It typically holds 10 rounds internally, loaded via stripper clip through the top of the action. Some later variants featured detachable magazines, but the classic fixed magazine design remained its most iconic configuration throughout its production life. Effective range sits around 150 meters when fitted with its detachable wooden shoulder stock, which doubled as a holster, turning this pistol into something closer to a short-range carbine, a versatility no other handgun on this list offers. The Mauser C96 saw service worldwide, from the trenches of World War I to revolutionary China, where it became so popular that Chinese arsenals produced their own unlicensed copies for decades, proof that this odd-looking pistol earned a global reputation few handguns ever achieved. The Tokarev TT-33 was designed by Fedor Tokarev and adopted by the Soviet Union in 1930, becoming the standard sidearm of the Red Army through World War II. It replaced older revolver designs, giving Soviet officers a modern, self-loading pistol to match what other major powers were fielding. This pistol fires the 7.62 by 25 mm Tokarev cartridge, a fast, flat shooting round with excellent penetration, capable of punching through soft body armor that would stop many other pistol calibers of the era. It trades stopping power for velocity and penetration, the opposite trade-off from the Colt's heavy .45 round. The TT-33 measures around 22 centimeters long and weighs close to 850 grams unloaded, similar in size to the Luger, but built with a much simpler, more rugged internal design suited for mass production and harsh Eastern Front conditions. Like the Colt M1911, it uses a similar short recoil operating system, but Soviet engineers simplified nearly every component for faster manufacturing. Fewer parts meant fewer failure points, which mattered enormously when producing millions of pistols during wartime shortages. It feeds from a detachable box magazine holding 8 rounds, loaded from the base of the grip. One notable design quirk, the TT-33 has no manual safety in most versions, relying instead on the half-cock position, a deliberate simplification that trades a safety feature for faster, uninterrupted firing. Effective range sits around 50 meters, comparable to other service pistols of its generation, with the added benefit of superior penetration against light cover and body armor thanks to its high-velocity cartridge. The Tokarev TT-33 became one of the most widely distributed pistols in history, exported and copied across dozens of Soviet-aligned nations. Its simple, rugged design still turns up in conflicts around the world today, decades after it was first adopted. The Webley MKVI was adopted by the British military in 1915, becoming the standard sidearm of British and Commonwealth forces through both world wars. It was the final and most refined version in a long line of Webley revolvers that had armed British officers since the late 19th century. This revolver fires the .455 Webley cartridge, one of the most powerful standard-issue handgun rounds of its era, delivering serious stopping power at the cost of heavy recoil. Unlike every other pistol on this list, the Webley relies on proven revolver simplicity rather than a self-loading mechanism. The MKVI measures around 29 centimeters long and weighs over 1 kilogram unloaded, large and heavy, built more like a tool meant to last through brutal trench conditions than a sleek sidearm. Its top brake design let the barrel pivot downward, automatically ejecting all 6 spent casings at once. Unlike the semi-automatic pistols we've covered, this is a double-action revolver, pulling the trigger both cocks and releases the hammer in a single motion. No separate cocking step required. This made it simpler and more forgiving to operate under the chaos of close combat than many of its self-loading rivals. It holds 6 rounds in its cylinder, all ejected simultaneously when the barrel breaks open, faster to reload as a group than loading rounds individually, though still slower overall than swapping a detachable magazine. Effective range sits around 40 meters, respectable for a revolver of this size and cartridge, though its true value was psychological as much as tactical. The heavy, reliable sidearm officers trusted completely in the mud and chaos of trench warfare. The Webley MKVI earned a reputation as one of the most powerful standard-issue service revolvers ever fielded, remaining in British service well into the mid-20th century, long after most nations had switched entirely to self-loading pistols. The Welrod was developed by British intelligence during World War II, specifically for use by resistance fighters and special operations agents. Unlike every weapon on this list, it wasn't designed for open combat at all. It was built to be silent, disposable, and nearly untraceable. This pistol fires either the .32 ACP or 9mm cartridge depending on the variant, but the round itself isn't what makes this weapon unique. What matters is what surrounds it, an integrated suppressor built directly into the barrel, designed from the ground up for assassination and sabotage missions rather than standard military use. The Welrod measures around 31 centimeters long and weighs close to 1 kilogram unloaded, long and slim, built almost like a piece of pipe rather than a traditional pistol, specifically so it could be disguised or hidden in plain sight when not in use. This is a bolt-action pistol, an almost unheard-of mechanism for a handgun. After each shot, the user manually cycles a small bolt at the rear of the weapon, similar in principle to the rifles we covered in our last video, but scaled down and silenced for close-range, single-shot use. It feeds from a small detachable magazine holding either 6 or 8 rounds depending on the caliber, hidden inside the pistol's grip. Its slow, manual cycling action meant it was never meant for rapid engagement. Every shot had to count, fired at point-blank range against a single target. Effective range sits at just a few meters. This weapon was designed exclusively for extreme close-range use, often literally arm's length from the target, prioritizing silence and deniability over any kind of tactical versatility. The Welrod remains one of the most unusual firearms ever mass-produced, A purpose-built assassination tool that proved not every weapon on a battlefield is meant for the battlefield at all. That's 7 pistols, 7 very different jobs, and 7 reminders that a handgun was never just a smaller rifle. Each one was built for a specific purpose, from close quarters stopping power to complete silence. If you learned something today, hit subscribe. More weapons and more history are coming every week. Thanks for watching.